Sue Roskopf, Emily Gollmer, and we are ready to go. This is Disability Advocacy Radio at its finest. And so thank you for joining us today. And we're going to have a good show. It's going to be a general conversation about some events that we have and follow up on some things since our last show last week. And it's going to dive into some community aspects, some things in the business community. And we also build from the faith community, the service sector, educational offerings, and things that are all the fun things, the entertainment, going out to films and so forth. So we're going to pick some things throughout the next 20 some minutes, and it's going to be good. We're going to get a little bit of roundtable with Emily and Sue. And again, we are thinking of our Pewaukeeans that are Milwaukeeans with intellectual and developmental disabilities, the deaf community, blind community, people with physical disabilities, those with mental health diagnosis, those with chronic pain, and so on and so forth. So Sue, why don't you get it going? What's next? Sue Roskopf, thank you.
Awesome, thanks so much, Kurt. My name is Sue Roskopf. We're here with Ability MKE now, where we bring all sorts of information and fun and connecting those that have disabilities and those who don't have disabilities together here in the Pewaukee area. We are all about integration. We're all about celebrating ability and what we can do, not focusing on what we can't do. We all have things we can't do. We all have things we can do. We're focused on the fun and the, as our friend Chad always puts it, look at my ability, not my disability. And that is a mantra to live by. So we're here as always, bringing forward some awesome fun things that that we all can partake in. And one thing I want to mention that we haven't well, let me think here. We've been doing for about 2.5 years now. Something that's gotten to be even more prevalent for me is the 12 o'clock shakedown. If you don't know what the 12 o'clock shakedown is, you're missing out, because that is something that anyone can do, no matter what your ability. It's something that you do to the best of your ability. So what 12 o'clock shakedown sounds kind of weird, right? So what is it? It is a group of at this point, we've gotten to be good friends. They get together 12 o'clock noon, it's Central, obviously. We're here in the Milwaukee area. So 12 o'clock noon, we get together on Zoom. And we also put it out live on Facebook in the 12 o'clock shakedown group. And we literally will just do shaking. We find some kind of shaker, a maraca, a container with rice, whatever you can grab that you want to just hold in your hand that you're able to shake. And we will spend 15 minutes doing motion to music. So it actually ends up being a lot of upper body kind of things, a lot of arm motion, but we also do some leg motion as well. It's not meant to be overly strenuous. It can be as intense or as strenuous as you'd like. You can do it as you please, but we try to keep it fun, keep it simple, keep it doable. It is something that actually began with a group that over the time before COVID happened, there's a group of friends that used to do quite a bit of activity, of physical activity. These are friends that had, actually the gentleman that began the group has MS. So multiple sclerosis is something that he is a progressive kind of a disease. It is something that, or condition, I'm not sure what the proper term is actually, to be honest. It is something that is progressive, where you lose your ability to move over time. You lose your how do you describe this? Well, basically you lose your motor function over time. So one day you're able to walk and do all the things that you normally do, and you progressively lose different abilities, whether it's your hands, what your hands can do, what your legs can do. But the more you stay active and the more you use your muscles, the more it prolongs that deterioration that happens with the muscle in that for what this is that I'm speaking to. So when COVID hit, we all stayed home, right? And that ability to go out and do those normal daily activities and keep that active lifestyle going completely changed. So the started out then with a group of friends getting together on Zoom and basically kind of keeping each other accountable and moving and just keeping it simple where it's 15 minutes of music and motion. So the idea is to grab something to shake and music will be playing. And the guy who started this, he was nicknamed the Big Cheese. How Wisconsin is that? So the Big Cheese would come on. He'd always be wearing goofy sunglasses, some kind of a weird hat, fun tie, something. Just totally just something goofy. Just make it more fun. And what he always would say is dance like nobody's watching and to push yourself, but don't hurt yourself. So do what you can, keep it fun. And that's what we do. And he literally was the daily guy for 2 solid years with doing, or actually more than that now, doing the shakedown on a daily basis. And for him personally, it was super rare for him to miss a day. When he would miss a day, somebody else in the group would step in and take on that lead role and having that lead of what's the next movement going to be, what's the music, what's just talking everybody through and keeping it fun. That, gosh, I think sometime here in the last month or so, his schedule changed. So I've actually had the opportunity now to do more leading with that group too, and it has been so much fun. We have a great time. We keep it moving, and we actually have an added treat that happens whenever one of the friends that shows up every time is Mark, and Mark is amazing. He will go out of his way to change his Zoom background every day. He will look up what is the fun, whatever the national day of celebration happens to be, and you'd be amazed at what kind of things he's come up with. Today is, I might need some help from Kurt and Emily on this. I believe it was National Funky Day or National Be Funky Day, something like that. I wish I still had that in front of me. And it's actually National Teachers Day, so that was another one that celebrate the teachers because every day should be Teacher Day, but today happens to be Teacher Day. And there's sometimes it's celebrating a different food, whatever. And he'll also even come up with celebrity birthdays or what is it about today that would be significant. So again, super fun group, super fun way to stay accountable and keep moving. I think it's made a difference, even for me, not having a physical limitation that way as far as my mobility. Just to get my butt up out of a chair, if I'm sitting there doing my computer work or whatever it is that I happen to be doing, it's only 15 minutes. So taking 15 minutes out of my day to get up and get moving. This should be something that we all strive to do because, what do we all need more of? We all need more activity. We all need to keep healthy and keep that blood flowing. So that is something that I've really been enjoying a lot. And I know I'm not able to get on every day either, but we all do the best we can and we help each other out. We work as a team and do this together as much as we can. So, and actually, Emily, I know you've been on there. You do a ton with doing a lot of the live Facebook pieces as well. What's your favorite part of this? Tell what your experience is as well.
Well, just a couple of things. Just being with everybody. All of us becoming friends, and so we kind of have our core group of kind of the same. Was it 5 or 6 people that come every day? But we're always looking for anybody else to join us. And there's a Zoom link, so if anybody is interested in joining us on Zoom, I can get you the link. Otherwise, it is live streamed to a 12 o'clock shakedown Facebook page, and I believe Kurt live streams it to one or two other places. So you could always watch it on Facebook Live if you didn't want to come on Zoom. But then then always marks what Mark says at the end, what his days of the national days of the whatever. So
Ways to keep it fun. And yeah, there's a good solid core group, and then there's another, I don't know, half dozen to a dozen people that come and go and show up when they can. And that's a nice thing then too about doing the Facebook Live portion, that even if you can't make it on, 12 o'clock noon doesn't work for everyone. So even if you can't get on at that time, you can still go back and find previous episodes or what did we do earlier today. It's always there, so you can go and do it when it works for you. So it's something that, like you're saying, the camaraderie, the friends that we've gotten to enjoy and get to know over this time, it's a lot of fun. So I just want to make sure that is something that maybe can be inspiring for just keeping that movement going, keeping it going. With anyone with any ability can join in. And again, you do it to the best of your ability, whatever that might be. So I know one section we always will include is something with legs. So if we're doing squats or pick up your legs, whatever it is, put your feet into the floor, something to get your legs moving. Even if you have perhaps like a spinal cord injury and you can't necessarily do the same type of leg motion, you figure something else out. We all adapt and do what works for us. So that we had a friend actually, this is months ago, that was at our house with us when we were doing the 12 o'clock shakedown, and his health wasn't the best, but he joined in and he did what he could. He had to take a break in the middle of it because for him, it was, at that point in time, it was too much for him to do a 15 minutes straight of actually doing something where he's shaking something. His body was not allowing for that. That's fine. Do what you can, take a break, do what you can. That's what it's all about. Just to keep health in the forefront. And like I've said it enough times now, keeping it fun. Go ahead, Emily.
yeah, my movement helps with everything, like feeling better and other bodily functions. And what was I had something I was gonna say and I lost it. And then there's the whole thing about if you don't use it, you'll lose it too. So it's important to be able to move when you can, because you never know when something will happen, and then you will have a disability, whatever. Even if it's not, I don't know how to.
Well, you're absolutely right, because I know even this last summer, I had a sprained ankle for a while that I was dealing with,
Yeah.
and which in the grand scheme, not that big of a deal, but it's total inconvenience and a change of to some extent a change of lifestyle for a bit, because I had to deal with crutches and doing my mobility was obviously impacted for a while there. And even with doing the shakedown, I had to figure something else out because I couldn't do squats because that hurt to put that. I couldn't put that kind of weight on that leg for that time. So I figured something else out. And we all adapt to what we can do when we can do it. And that's something just to keep you going, and being accountable with friends, like what we do with the shakedown, it really does, at least for me, that helps, because if it wasn't for the group, I wouldn't be showing up every day. And I'm just being honest here, I would not have the motivation to do it on my own without the group being there. So that's
like every day like that.
Exactly. So it's something that's available. And again, if noon doesn't work for people, they can always catch it on Facebook later, to just catch a replay, and you can find your favorite episode and just keep replaying that one if that helps. You never know. It's a lot of fun. So, and actually, I'm going to throw this over to Kurt as well. I know he's gotten in a lot more shakedowns than I have over time. So, what's your favorite part of the shakedown, Kurt? What do you enjoy?
Well, there's great potential with Shakedown, with it being consistent every day, and the hundreds of videos allowing on-demand, access to it. And it's just the concept of making that commitment to ourselves, born out of the story with Jim Turk, to, attend to activity. And now he's able to shift back to alternative and more what he was used to before COVID and such like that. So, it's the teamwork, it's, creating the habits together, and, referring back to the friendships. And there's real potential with it because, if we think of the ALS fundraiser from a decade ago or whenever it was with the Ice Bucket Challenge, Emily has set up a Facebook group, for the Shakedown Challenge. So that's the idea here is, people can take it upon themselves to do what we've demonstrated here to, go ahead and put themselves on live streaming and go ahead and do all of this stuff, whether it's around the world or stir the pot or doing the disco or, whatever moves you come up with. We're doing golf swings, motion of throwing a basketball in a hoop, and just kind of creating that, even if it's inclement weather and so forth, we've got something to do to stay active. So,
even if it's just for a minute, or if you do all 15 minutes or just part of it, just be doing something.
Okay, and I got to ask a silly question. We all have a favorite move, I think, for what we're doing. I think it seems like for most of us in the group, air guitar kind of hits home a little bit. Emily, what's your favorite?
Maybe around the. I don't know. I think I have several, but I think I think around the world is one of them.
Kurt, what about you?
Carlton, doing the Carlton.
That too. I knew there was something else.
You guys, everybody remembers the Carlton dance, right? Oh my gosh. And I haven't included that lately. I have to remember to include that one. I'm so sorry. It's your favorite. I keep forgetting. So I want to switch gears for a moment here. We are in a very special week here where on Friday, October 7th, 2022, it is actually two things. It's the Global Happiness Summit taking place that day. And I actually just today randomly came across where it also is called National Smile Day. So Friday, all y'all better be full of smiles because that's what the celebration is. It's National Smile Day. So, but as far as what is Global Happiness Summit, what is that? It is going to be a big event taking place online. There's already more than 500 people registered for this, and there's going to be entertainment. There's going to be speakers, like inspirational speakers. The folks in the lineup are tremendous. I'm super excited to hear what they're going to be, what they're all going to have to say. There's also going to be networking, so you get to meet a whole bunch of people while you're there, even though it's online. There's going to be opportunities for one-on-one interactions with the others. I think they even have some giveaways that they're planning. So there's a lot. There's something for everyone. And I know Kurt's actually been part of the planning team with this. He is in a very unique role within the Happy Neighborhood Project, where he's a mentor within that group and had been asked to be part of the planning team for this amazing Global Happiness Summit that's coming up. And I'm wondering, Kurt, can you just give us some just a few insights as to what a person can expect with what this event is?
Yeah, it says any event that would be spanning a 6-hour period of time. Hopin.com being the platform used for it. Basically, Happy Neighborhood Project is on there at hopin.com, and people can follow that. And so really it's going to be 500 people plus on there. There's a fantastic speed networking function in there. There's going to be a dozen different vendors. So there's a spot on there to click into, each of the vendors. You can take a tour in the expo area there virtually and go in and open up your microphone and camera. And, otherwise you can just listen to the conversation being had there, much like a real conference or real expo, where you can just kind of, go up and down the lanes, the aisles, and stop and watch and listen to whoever's in earshot and engage people if that's what you want to do. There's going to be presenter speakers. We're going to be talking about the Happy Neighborhood Project, the Happy Co-op, the co-op board is going to be introduced. And 3 of our mentors are part of that, the giveaways and entertainment. We're going to have a piano player, and you just can't beat it. We're going to have Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. So just a lot of enthusiasm, laughter, yoga, doing this stuff that's just, good and healthy for you. So, and it's going to be good for people who are trying to run a business, people entering into professional development, personal development. So just a lot of values just packed into that 6 hours, including, for qualified ticket holders. And, there's going to be a VIP thing at the end of it. So for some, it'll go beyond the 6 hour event and go into that 7th hour. That's an exclusive portion.
Awesome. This is going to be an historic event. Last year, as I recall, there were over 700 people in attendance, and they are aiming to beat that this year. Like I said, at last I heard, there were already over 500 tickets sold for this event. So I'm real curious what kind of numbers they're going to end up with in the end. It's been a big talk amongst the community within the Happy Neighborhood Project. It's been a huge topic for the last, I'd say, month and a half or so. And there's been a core team, including, like I said, including Kurt and also Denise, who's been a regular on our show here. She's been a key component as well of the planning committee. So we've got some close connections within our little group here, and I know that I'll be there. Emily's going to be there. It's something that I've been looking forward to, and you can join it from wherever you are. So how good is that? I'll be able to I actually anticipate for a good chunk of this, I'll just have the earphones in and listening into what's going on while I'm doing other things, and able to enjoy it that way. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. So Kurt, I'm just going to throw this over your direction to see if you had anything top of mind here that you wanted to share yet tonight before we're all wrapping up for the evening.
Well, there's multiple components coming together. We've talked in past shows about the Mutual Aid Network, mutualaidnetwork.org, and we're talking Shakedown right now. Emily's working on, a service that's available through free conference call, liveradio.love, and so forth. So we've got different things. Like with the Happy Neighborhood Project, the precursor to that is the I Am Happy Project. Through that, we get another daily thing, daily power of recitations. So just a lot of great things that are available in terms of activities. We talk about our water ski club. We're entering into, our monthly off-season meetings. We're going to be taking our, pier out and so forth. Our starting dock, coming this weekend. And so just really optimistic, including with our Optimist Club, optimist.org. So with that, we have our monthly general membership meetings, and, it's time of year for, our varsity football games. And so I'm looking forward to the Chargers and, Menominee Falls High School, a rivalry, coming up, in a couple days. So really, just a lot of great things happening around us. Our daughter involved in Girl Scouts. So So when you talk about top of mind, I'm always thinking of community, family, friends, Denise Vargas talking about family, and just really thinking about with what enriches us to really have this check-in to ask ourselves, how well is this available to everybody? Again, I repeat a story where I talk about a handful of years ago coming in out of the water with our water ski practice, coming up from our stage area, looking over to my right by a tree that's on the site for Pewaukee Lakefront Park. A gentleman there, and I engage him, say, "Hey, are we doing anything right? You like anything?" Like, kind of like, do we totally suck, or what's going on? Trying to see if and he did respond, and we had a little bit of good small talk, and he gave some good responses, and he shared a little bit to let me know that he has, a little enthusiasm with the lake stuff. And I'm like, "Hey, would you ever think of joining their club?" And normally when I tell this story, I give a little bit of a pregnant pause, but on radio, it's, not real cool. Like the few seconds at the beginning of the show, that was kind of dead air. That's not good stuff. But, so I'll just keep going. And we, and I just waited for him to give me a response. And folks, what he said, and here too, I tend to give a pause, but I'm not gonna in this show. But it was like, he tells me, "I thought you had to be somebody." And so it's like, wow. So that's what we can do, folks, in our lives. We can kind of make people feel like they're not good enough for what we're doing. We maybe don't intend to. So that's the point. We need to have that intentionality and that awareness to check in with somebody and to ask ourselves, how welcoming are we all the time? And that's a personal growth opportunity we have. And that's what that gentleman did for me, is as much as I come up with things like mastery of invitation and things like this, I realized that myself personally, I was called at that moment to take it to a higher level, that we're all welcome. And so everybody here at Ability MT Now is welcome. People are welcome to come on the show. Come into this group with Emily and Sue, and we have Patty here who's eager to, after the show, give us a little bit of a, update. That's what it's all about. Being available to each other and sharing in each other's lives, having reciprocity, realizing we are interdependent. With that, Sue, I bring it back to you.
We all encounter people, obviously on a daily basis. And you don't know where that other person is at. You don't know what their experiences have been. We all come from our own personal experience, right? So to keep that in your mind, that you don't know what that person has done. You don't know what that person has seen. You don't know what their life has been. Do your best to be kind. Do your best to be welcoming, and help those around you to have a good experience. Be conscious of what you do to help people have a good experience around you. You be the person that people think fondly of because they have good interactions with you. So with that, I'm looking forward to tomorrow at the 12 o'clock shakedown, getting to shake again. For all of us here at Ability MKE Now, we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. I didn't know I was on.